So the topic on Kaden and his story on how he got powers. I watch a lot of superhero, supernatural, fantasy, all sorts of stories. I watch a lot of shows, a lot of anime. We already know that. Watch a lot of that stuff. But I don't think I really became aware of the stereotype around lightning characters and their correlation, usually, and the correlation of them usually being, you know, African-American characters or of African-American descent or whatever, or that kind of stuff. Just black characters. I never really was aware of that, funnily enough. And some people, you know, might say, oh yeah, well, you must not watch enough shows to know that, bro. Or yeah, you know, everybody knows that. Honestly, bro, I was not aware of that. Because when I started this, it was originally just a character. I didn't really even think about a story around how we could further connect viewers with this person, and then go even with this character, and then go even further and do something, develop something for his other two friends. But with his story in particular, because they're finishing up and we're putting that out in a comic book form, I wasn't really thinking too much when I was creating this. I wasn't really thinking too much about, oh, we want to stay away from the stereotype of making sure it doesn't get lightning. Well, lightning is involved. If you've seen some of the story, lightning is involved.
Yo, this is Kevin Post. Yeah, so I think a really good way to put it was if we look at how Danny got his powers, and part of that was a shocking factor. Like, he turned on the power and he got shocked. The lightning played that role to simulate a similar event that took place with the whole incident and everything.
We haven't gotten to the climax of it, but the second half of it is going to be out in the coming weeks, and maybe on the top of the year. And lightning is involved, but as far as his powers, and honestly, his powers are already explained. But I think this would be a good opportunity, seeing that I saw a few comments on this, mostly positive, but I saw a few comments on this, and it's a good point. I think it's a fair point. But I think the good news is while lightning is involved in the whole process of him getting his powers, it's still on the baseline of his ghost abilities, his ghost powers. And like I was saying, and as it's already well known, that a lot of his development was around inspiration from Danny Phantom. From that baseline, it's still that. But where the lightning comes into play, while ghost energy is the actual source, that combined with the ghost portal opening at the same time, right where he was, right next to him, that being on a power line, all of that combining into him getting his ghost powers in a similar kind of fashion, only with like Danny, he was more of like going into a portal that wasn't on, turned it on, and then got shocked in a way, and then, you know, that whole incident happened. But with this, it's more of a portal that opens literally right on top of him, off of the baseline, that in that world, portals with the connection to that other dimension can open at any point randomly across the whole globe, and possibly the whole universe. Who knows? They didn't really go that far into the story as yet, but hopefully, well, I'm saying hopefully, they probably won't ever, since it pretty much ended the way it did. But yeah, they open up in random places around the whole universe as far as we know. And because of that, what if there's an incident where someone is literally right in the same exact area where that happens, and it ends up being one of those, you know, fate incidents? That person is right in the same area where that happens, and then another incident happens and everything overlaps at the same time, and it becomes this thing. So the lightning wasn't necessarily what gave him the powers, but it was more so an added factor to it, that combined with the ghost energy gives him that unique kind of factor. So for him, it's more of like ecto sparks, if you want to call it something that's more geared towards, you know, the ecto energy and all that kind of ghost energy and everything within that universe. But that's what I was more so leaning towards, and taking more inspiration from of course, Danny Phantom, but then also there's another character that had came to mind when I was thinking about how I wanted to put this together for him, Bakugo from My Hero Academia. And I was saying, those are some pretty cool powers. I've seen a lot of similar stuff across different shows and, you know, different superhero stuff, but that was something pretty cool. So it was more like sparks. So on top of his ghostly energy, whenever he's feeling some sort of, you know, strong emotions or anything, you have those kind of sparks that light up around him. So let's say he like shoots an energy blast or something, there's additional like explosions that can happen around that initial blast, and like an added byproduct of energy or other stuff. So yeah, something geared more around that. Honestly, since we're still in the earlier stages of this, I think the good news is it kind of gives me a little bit more flexibility to mess around with different stuff and see what direction I want to move towards this with. But yeah, overall, when I even started this, it was more of like deepen the understanding of this character. Let's make this character a little more than just a one-dimensional, oh, he's somebody that exists in another world, but we don't know anything about him. This isn't just a character with lightning powers, bro. But I would say lightning is part of what takes place in the story for him to get his powers, and if you want to call it, I guess, similarities, as far as having sparking abilities on top of his baseline ghost powers that can be unstable, as far as like, you know, thunderstorms, lightning can strike at any point, kind of having that instability and transferring that into his strength, and then him having to learn how to control that with his ghost abilities, him having to learn how to control that additional ability on top of that. I think that could be something that's worth playing around with and seeing what we could build around that. I would say from the very, very super beginning, when I was just throwing random ideas and had no clue what I wanted the story to be or any of that stuff. I wasn't even sure if I wanted a story. I would say a few of those ideas were like lightning based abilities, just straight up lightning on top of, you know, ghost powers. But I moved away from that, but not even on the basis of the stereotype or any of that thing. Because like I said, at the time, this was like years ago, I had no clue about this kind of stereotype stuff. But yeah, as soon as you know, you go to like TikTok, it's usually TikTok, they'll just say all these, you'll see a bunch of stuff that you have no clue or wasn't aware of, and you go down that rabbit hole and you're like, dang, I didn't know about this. So yeah, it was interesting to find that out. I honestly did not know that, but cool stuff overall. It's great news though. It is like a hybrid human ghost on the inspiration similar to Danny Phantom, but more on the, now on top of being a ghost, kind of like how Danny has like ice powers that he develops. I think he gained ice abilities. I don't think it was something where, yeah, he gained ice abilities from what I remember. So yeah, I like how Danny Phantom has ice abilities on top of his ghost powers, which is like a unique now kind of touch to him. It's like an added ability for him. Kaden's is more leaned towards sparking kind of abilities, explosions, that kind of stuff on top of his ghost abilities that he can leverage once he learns to better control it. I think I want to keep it though in a way where it's almost always unstable, and that although at some point he learns to control it, he kind of leans into that instability. There's a point where he will always be unstable in a certain, whether it's like form that we might want to do or whatever, but there's so many different angles and ways that this can be taken, which is exciting to think about. And that allows me to pull inspirations from, like I was saying, like Danny Phantom, but then also a lot of shows that I really enjoyed watching and still enjoy watching to this day, like the Danny Phantoms and the Dragon Ball Z's, and like I was saying, My Hero Academia and stuff. But yeah, I think there's some cool stuff that we could do with this. We just want to see where it goes. But at the very least, I wanted to get some origin stories down so we have at least a basic idea of these character stories, you know. And then of course we can flesh things out further and go even deeper into their stories further on if I want to do like some one-off pages and all kinds of stuff. But I almost say the scene with the lightning is almost baiting the viewer to say, or the reader to say, baiting the reader or the viewer to say, oh yeah, this is going to be another character with lightning abilities. But then it's turning out to be more of ghost powers, which is the baseline, and a sparking side effect. The new music is coming, so that's awesome too. But we also get to now really tell a story, multiple stories at that, and really begin to flesh out this other world, his but then mine as well, and read some cool ideas around that. Then also separate stuff too, so a lot of cool releases for next year on top of a surprise that I might be able to show. So yeah, I'm excited for a lot of what is to come, and we will see how it all plays out.